All right. Let me get all this here. Let me get all this there. Let me make sure it's working. I gotta look nice and pretty. And let's see. Let me go ahead and tweet this. I'll give some time for people to join everything because I really didn't schedule this very well this week on the week back. But that's just the situation we are in. Let me. Hopefully, I'm not stepping on Nate Lane a whole lot. I think he's going live in a bit. I don't mean to mess him up or anything. Oops. Let's see as everybody kind of trickles in here. Let's see, let me go there. All right, let me get that. Let me get that. And let me get that. Alright, so that's live there. Alright, we're good there. What's up, Chandler? What is going on? Alright. Let me look here. What is this? Hold on. $23rd. Let me look here. Not even here. Okay. I was looking at because Bob Pockers just tweeted out the starting grid for the Xfinity series and it has Sam Mayer in 23rd, whereas earlier in the week it had him at 32nd. When I pulled the data earlier this week. Yeah, let me. I need to put that in Patreon, and I'll let people trickle in more. Let me get this. Sorry if this is quite boring. What's going on, Clutch? Surprised. Yeah, I don't see the need for a punt play. And let me just post this in Discord, and then I'll put everything up on the screen. But that's like it doesn't change a whole lot for Xfinity because I wasn't playing Sam Mayer anyway. But yeah, like I think even Pierce did the same thing because when I pulled the starting grid earlier, it still had Sam Mayer at 32nd. So let me just all right, now I get that out of the way. And I'll try and update that. So what are we at? All right, let me bring this stuff up. So I guess we'll start talking about the Truck Series race. Let me move that. Okay, so my stuff really hasn't changed for the trucks at all. I'm still, the guys here are still my priority. I'm less on Paul Menard than I was. In fact, so this is a situation where for the Truck Series, I actually only made one lineup, and I just entered it into every GPP, $33 or less, because that just ended up being cheaper than just entering the amount of lineups that I normally do in the $8. And after the preseason game, like I'm good on money. I have rent paid for September. I don't need to just throw a bunch of cash into the $8. At least for the Truck Series. For the Xfinity Series, there's a lot of different builds that I like, and so I think I'm entering 8 lineups for Xfinity right now. In the 8, the 3, the 1, I'll probably max enter some of the 3 max. I think I'm playing the single entries as well in Xfinity. But for the Truck Series, like for me, there was only like one true like core that I was using. Like I really like the same 4 drivers, and so a lot of the lineups that I made just ended up switching in and out like 1 or 2 guys in that main 4 guy lineup. And so I was like, okay, well, I'll just make a single entry and focus on a lot of the single entry tournaments with that core. So that's where I'm at right now. Yeah, I'm not going to say that. I don't want to start anything this morning. So Ben Rhodes and John Nemechek and Todd Gilliland can both lead laps here. However, I need to bring up one thing over here that I forgot to do. To look at the exposures really quick. So give me a second. I got to bring one thing up that I forgot to open up. Where are we at? Optimizer? Where you go? Oh, did I delete it? No, I didn't. There we go. Let's see. So when I look at a lot of the lineups, it really depends on what Kaz Grala, A. Allmendinger, and Sheldon Creed do in terms of leading laps, and that will either help lock in people like John Nemechek, Ben Rhodes, and Gilliland, because those would be the 3 that I would expect to lead laps if the lap leader is somebody who stays up in the top 10 the whole day. And so the only guys that I see leading would be Gilliland, Rhodes, and Nemechek. We've seen Rhodes be really consistent on the road courses this year, and we've seen him actually lead laps. Obviously, he won the first race at the Daytona road course this year after surviving like 17 cautions at the end of that. And then Nemechek, sorry, I'm changing everything up. Nemechek finished 3rd at the Daytona road course, 12th at COTA this year in the rain. So I was seeing that some guys were hesitant because, Nemechek's looking bad this year so far on the road courses, and he's not the best. If I was playing somebody in the top 10, it would probably be Nemechek 1st, Rhodes 2nd, and then Gilliland 3rd. I do think John Nemechek does lead some laps today. We've seen him be pretty much one of the more consistent road course drivers. If you look back at his races at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, which I like to use as a data point for the Truck Series, not only because it's one of the only road courses they used to go to, but I think it races very similar to how Watkins Glen races. And when you look at Canadian Tire, even in quote-unquote poor equipment. 25th, 9th, 1st, 20th, 2nd. And then when you look at this year, Daytona Road Course, finished 3rd, finished 12th at COTA this year. Like, John Nemechek has a good chance of leading in this race. I think some people are overanalyzing the ARCA race yesterday, and man, I really don't want to step on anybody's toes here. I don't think the ARCA race really has any data point that I extremely care about. I don't care that Corey Heim won the race yesterday. There's only 2 cars. If you look at the ARCA Series race this year, it's been Ty Gibbs, Corey Heim, and then Drew Dollar as a like a distance third of who has the best car. And so when it's Corey Heim and Ty Gibbs leading or being up front in the road course, and then Heim wins the race, well, if you look at the last 10 laps, Ty Gibbs had the better car. He just started, last 12 laps, 13 laps already behind Heim in lap traffic. It took him a while to get by second place. Once he got by second place, Corey Heim still maintained like a 2.5 second lead. And at that point, Ty Gibbs ran out of time to catch up. So, like, if that race is 7 laps longer, even 8 laps longer, I think Ty Gibbs wins the race. So just because Corey Heim won the ARCA race yesterday doesn't mean that I'm goo goo gaga over this guy. And when you're building a lot of lineups, it's really difficult to get to the high 7s and 8K drivers. Personally, I'm a bit high, probably more than a high. I had to dial him back, but I'm really high on Johnny Sauter. I like Sauter. Let's talk about the 7K range really quick. So you have, oops, let me bring this around. And let me sort that. So when you look at the 7K range, and the reason I'm coming here is because typically your last guy in is usually around the 6K range. So, Tanner Gray, Haley Deegan, Derek Kraus, that's usually where, the last guy in a lot of lineups are coming from. I would say if you can get up into the 7K range more, maybe dial back your exposure to Menard, maybe dial back your exposure to Kligerman, even Sam Mayer. I don't think that those guys are going to be optimal. I think you're going to score well with them, but when you're looking at optimal lineups, I would much rather focus on getting A. Jomini or Kaz Grala, even Sheldon Creed in the lineups. If you don't want to go all 3 of those, I personally believe Sheldon Creed is also going to lead laps in this race, so he's my preferred Dominator. Not just because he has the place differential, but I like Sheldon Creed over Nemechek, Gill, and Rhodes, which is why I focused on saying, hey, if I was playing a guy in the top 10, I'd like Gill and Rhodes and Nemechek, but I like Creed more. I like the upside of playing Creed with the place differential. He doesn't have to do nearly as much. There's not as many laps in this race, so you don't need your Dominator to just go out and kill the field. Just Creed, get up to 3rd place. If you're doing that, you're getting fast laps. Exiting any of the stages, I think Creed can take the lead, so I'll be focusing on Creed. And so when I'm doing that, and I'm not paying up for Menard, I'm not paying up for Kligerman in my one lineup, which they can still score well if you're playing cash. I would much rather try and focus on getting those guys in the lineups. But when you're playing the guys that I just said, you're having to go down into the 5K range, you're having to look at the 6K range, whereas I think the more contrarian build is trying to get into the higher 7s, even the 8s if you feel like you can get to Friesen. So that's where we're at right here. Let me bring some projections up to kind of build upon what I just said there. Let me look through the chat really quick. So let me change this truck series. Let me add a page of this truck series real quick. Let me rename this video so I don't click on anything else. I can't even spell video. V-I-D-O. Video. Let me sort these drivers to provide a little bit more context here. I gotta sort them by hold on. Give me a moment. This will be worth checking out. Hold on, drivers. Hold on. Okay, now I just need one more. I need pricing. And then we'll be good to go. All right, let me sort pricing. And then I'm going to stop at Hailie Deegan. Let's cut that. And then, let's see, there's that. That's the starting grid. Okay, so I need one more. Sorry. Starting grid. Price. And I normally don't do this on my own, but for the video, it'll make sense here. All right, so let's go and look at this here. So these are my projections for everybody under $6,000. And so when you're looking at these guys here, I think Hailie Deegan is going to carry quite a bit of ownership because, as I was saying, a lot of the lineups the optimizer was liking with everybody in the player pool, and even lineups that I was kind of hand building yesterday, figuring out how the race was going to work, is I would end up having Hailie Deegan as the final driver in. And my only concern is that Deegan doesn't perform, doesn't perform and does what she did at the Daytona Road Course, which was, sure, the Daytona Road Course ended up being a wreck fest. Towards the end, we had a lot of guys get spun around. I mean, you had and people were low on fuel too. Like we had Johnny Sauter running 8th. He ran out of fuel. He also had damage from the last yellow, and so a lot of people got spun around earlier this year. But when you look at her 2 races, 28th at the Daytona Road Course in chaos, like she put herself in position to where she was involved in some chaos. When you look at the COTA race finishing 14th, if I give her 2 points, or if I give her 2 place differential, that's around 29 points. If I give her, what am I giving her right now? If I give her, what am I giving her? Because I think I went with 2 earlier in the week. If I'm giving her 4 place differential points right now, that's 33rd. There's guys that are in the 7K range that I have projected for slightly more, either 36, 37, some 35s. And that's kind of why I'm saying if you can find the money to get up into the 7K range, I think you should, just to get different. Because I believe people like Kristen Eckes, I believe people like Johnny Sauter, I believe other guys in the 7K range are going to have much lower ownership and possibly higher upside. Even 3, 4, 5 points is going to be huge in a race to where there's not a lot of laps led. And so place differential and finishing position is where you want to focus on. If Deegan can't, get over, 33 points, if she gets 32, if she gets 30, 29, 27 points, sure, she's good. She's going to score you well, but I don't think she's going to get in the optimal lineup. I'm pretty sure everybody agrees that Austin Wayne Self is the best play here. I'm not going to tell you different. I think you play Austin Wayne Self and just move on from there. I think he's the lowest I want to go. I'm hearing that Chad Chastain is getting bumped up. I don't believe in him. Chad is so outside of the fact that he's Ross Chastain's brother, why is that such a pedigree now? Like, did Ross Chastain not just wreck a shitload of vehicles for the first 7 years of his existence in these series? Before this year, and even last year to an extent, Chastain was always oh, there goes there goes Crash Stain crashing. Chad is a short track guy. Okay, this is not a dude who is prepared for road courses. He got notified he's going to race in this Tuesday, Monday. Hey, 4 days before the race, you're gonna race at Watkins Glen. No practice, not really used to this truck. You've never been in a truck before. I don't see Chad Chastain getting any more than 22 points. Sure, that's a 4.4 value, but I just don't see it. I'd much rather pay up and just get Austin Wayne Self, and I like the lineups that I build when I don't go any lower than that. I got Fogelman for 20 points. If I'm going to go that low, I'll just pay $400 less for Fogelman and hope that he can maintain what he's been doing at some of the road courses this year. 25th at COTA in the rain, not ideal, but certainly not like a 30th place finish. I think Fogelman is better than that. You've seen that he finished 19th in both the Daytona road courses. I think we do see something similar to that. Like if Fogelman finishes 20th, I will not be shocked. If he finishes 19th, I'm not going to be shocked. That's where we get in the realm of, okay, if Fogelman can maintain, a 19th place finish, an 18th place finish, then it might work to where, I'll even take like a 4.2x from him, honestly. Probably even lower, because I think, what do I have Fogelman at right now? What is that in terms of value? Yeah, I got Fogelman at 4.4 right now. I'll take a 4.2. I'll even take a 4x from Fogelman if I end up liking the lines here. But I wanted to point this out is I think Deegan is going to carry more ownership than what we think because I'm not going to play Kraus. He's trying to get into the playoffs. If anybody's going to make a dumb mistake, either stay out or block somebody through the S's, it's going to be Derek Kraus. I'm not going to play real Will Rogers. I'm not going to play Truex. Jack Wood ran the ARCA race. I don't care, okay? Jack Wood isn't head and shoulders above the competition. If you look at how he was running yesterday, yeah, sure. I mean, it was a GMS prepared ARCA car, but he was still slow. Like, it's good that he has the practice, but I find it hard to anticipate that Jack Wood's just going to drive through this field. He's not A.J. Allmendinger. Like I said, I'm not playing Lawless. I'm not playing these guys in the back because I have them all projected for like 16 points. And so it's either Haley Deegan, Austin Wayne Self, or Tate Fogelman in my mind here. I don't think Chastain's going to carry like 30% ownership, but if it's anything around like 18, 20, like I don't want to be any part of that. I'm not playing Chad Chastain here. And so, I think this helps build lineups more than giving, at least for free. I think this helps building lineups more than giving projections for everybody. Just focusing on the bottom half of the salaries. There's only 4 drivers worth playing there. And so once you decide between those 4 drivers, you can then build up with your lineup if you want to play more place differential plays. Let me check the chat real quick before I get there. Let's see. Trucks. Let's see. I kind of already answered that. 6K for there. What kind of lineups are going to be chalky? I think the lineups that are going to be chalky are going to be John Hunter Nemechek, probably paired with like Paul Menard and Sheldon Creed. Let me see what was chalky. Excuse me, in this optimizer. Timmy Hill as well. I think Timmy Hill is going to be chalky as well because going back to kind of my liking of Johnny Sauter, of Christian Eckes, of same thing with Barry. Like when you look at the 7K range, I think a lot of the public sees, okay, Timmy Hill's starting 71st. I personally believe Timmy's going to run well today. I just have more. I believe that Josh Berry can finish, 19th, 18th. I do believe that Eckes and Sauter can both maintain better finishing positions to where they'll outscore Timmy Hill. But I think Timmy Hill and Josh Berry are going to be the more popular guys in the 7K range. And so if you're going like Austin Wayne Self, Josh Berry, Austin Wayne Self, Timmy Hill, and then Austin Wayne Self, Josh Berry, Sheldon Creed, then you're kind of building more of the chalkier plays, whereas I would like to get different in the 7K range. And I'll talk about the Xfinity Series in a bit. I don't even know how long it is till lock. I already entered everything last night. Let me just check really quick. That's another. So, yeah, because I'm not part of the NFL scene, so I can talk as much shit as I want. If you're listening to content providers and they didn't really talk about the defenses a whole lot, you do not need to support those creators for the NFL season. I got very, very lucky with DiNucci's final run that put me in the top 4 of a lot of preseason NFL games on Thursday, and I think you need to support. I know I'm kind of going on a rant right here, but I'm going to join Sal Vetri's Patreon for this NFL season. I think he provides really, really good content, and as a guy who absorbs more content for the NFL versus making. I'll get back to NASCAR talk in a second, but as a guy who just listens to a lot of NFL stuff, like people who literally didn't tell you to play the Steelers defense and captain or focus a lot on the defenses, and they're focusing on, you know, quarterbacks who aren't taking the bulk of it. Like Cooper Rush had a ton of ownership. I don't know why. Like it was known all day that DiNucci was going to get the run. It was known all day that Haskins was going to get the run. Like Dobbs threw the touchdown, but if he doesn't do that, Haskins still outscores him. Claypool obviously had 9 points. For whatever reason, they kept playing him. But like a lot of people played a lot of the starters. Some of the DFS content creators like talked about more of the starters for whatever reason. I have no idea. Like I don't know. That was a rant right there. Anyway. I have no idea what I was even talking about before. Let's see, going back here. Like is 4-9Ks would be possible, Clutch, but I think you're going to be playing a lot of Fogelman and Austin Wayne Self together. I don't believe in Taylor Gray either. I don't have him projected to do much. I don't like any of the Grays. I don't like either brother. I don't think Timmy Hill is good or bad chalk. He's just not where I'm at today. I just ended up not getting to him in lineups. As I said, I was a bit higher in the 7K range than Timmy Hill. Let's see, what else was I yapping about here? Oh yes, some of the more popular guys. I think Kaz Gralla is a lock. Like I was kind of baffled by kind of the respect that Kaz Gralla wasn't getting in everything that he's done on the road courses. So if we look back and just analyze what he's done, even when he filled in for Austin Dillon at the road course last year when Dillon got COVID, he ran that car stupid fast, okay? His races in, you know, poor equipment. 2017 is when he won at Daytona. So he was not for GMS. He was in that, what was that, 19 truck? I forgot who owned that at the moment. I'm pretty sure that was 2017. When did Kaz Gralla win Daytona? I think it was 2017. Gralla, Daytona, win real quick. Oh, man. Kaz Gralla. Yeah, it was 2017. So that year he was in good equipment. He finished third at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. At the Daytona Road Course this year, he finished 8th. At COTA, in the rain, starting up front, ran second the entire day. COTA was a mess, but if you're up front, even in the Cup Series, I'm not using any real data from COTA because it was raining, but like obviously it showed Austin Cindric's skill because he knew how to race in the rain. He knew how to race the track. COTA for the Truck Series, it started off dry, then it started to mist a little, then it started raining, and Kaz Gralla was still up there in a truck that, you know, it's not the best, but it's not bad equipment. He's getting everything he can out of that. I would much rather play Kaz Gralla because I think he can compete for the win, whereas I think Menard is going to get through the field, but I think he'll get stuck at like 15th, 14th, 13th. I would just much rather focus on Gralla, A. Allmendinger, and Creed than the guys in the back of the field. So I want to say that, like, if I was playing a lot of lineups, I would be overweight on Kaz Gralla compared to the field. Yeah, Haley Deegan was popping off a lot. I think she ends up being more popular than people think. Let's see what else. Who else do I have here? I got Fogelman lineups within, 8 points of my highest projected line. That's why I'm saying, like, I don't mind playing Fogelman, honestly. Like, if you play him, like, if I'm playing Fogelman, then I would focus more on Menard and Kligerman. And I think even if Fogelman scores you like 14 points and you get Menard, I think they can outscore some of the drivers you would get if you didn't play at the very bottom and play at the very top. Let's see here. Let me go. Like Luke, I don't know. I just went on a rant talk. Like, I really don't want to talk shit, man. I really don't. Because I do dumb shit all the time. I'll get tunnel vision like at New Hampshire. I didn't want to play Christopher Bell in the Xfinity series. I just refused to play him. I knew he'd be quick, but I just wanted to not fade him, and I just kept talking myself in, nah, Christopher Bell isn't going to work. So I do a lot of dumb things, but fuck it, there's only 34. I think FSI gave a lot of bad information in their video this morning. And I think Corey Heim winning that ARCA race is bad information. That does not make him playable. Or the ARCA, like, that's how I know it's not good, because like, they don't watch the races. Both of them agreed that the ARCA series is an even field. It's like IROC, where it's not. Like, you don't even have to watch the race. Just look at the finishing positions. Look at how fast the other cars are. The ARCA series is not even. So, like, I think Corey Heim is being pushed up in ownership because of his ARCA win yesterday. I don't believe in that. But the evidence isn't there to go. He can't. But the evidence isn't there to go again. So that, like, people, and that's another thing. Like, I truly believe that people haven't played Sauter because they see how bad he's been finishing this year and then last year. And a lot of his finishes are mechanical issues. He's being caught up in wrecks that aren't his fault. I don't believe that Sauter is a bad play. I'd much rather play him at a road course because I believe in his ability than in an oval. He can still, his issues can still form. He can still have mechanical issues, but I would trust his experience over guys who have literally never been at the track before, over guys who have literally never been in a truck before. Like, I would much rather do that. Yeah, like, I'd much rather play Gralla, and if he wrecks, just not my day. That's just how it is. Like, this is not going to kill my life if I don't score today. And so, kind of going back there, like Chandler, like, I think my Dominators are AJ Allmendinger. Like, he's in a GMS truck. It's not the Toyota, but AJ Allmendinger going into this, and I don't know why he's not getting more crap. Like, everybody hates Kyle Busch going into the Xfinity Series, but AJ Allmendinger is a heavyweight going to the strawweight division. Like, there's like two drivers that are better than AJ, and I would argue that AJ is probably the best driver in this field in a GMS truck, filling in for Chase Purdy. Like, sure, he's starting dead last, but he scored from 25th. He's going to get up and lead in this race. I like AJ to lead. I like Creed to lead. I like Gralla to lead. And if it's John Hunter Nemechek, Ben Rhodes, Creed, AJ, and Allmendinger, or Creed, AJ, and Gralla inside the top 6 competing for laps led, well, then fast laps can be distributed between them. It's going to hurt the upside of, like I said before, John Hunter Nemechek, and Ben Rhodes, because those guys are already up there. They've already got the place differential plays. Like, I would much rather just focus on those guys. I don't think you need anybody in the top 10 today, which you're just kind of repeating what I've already talked about for 30 minutes. So, yeah, so, like, kind of going back, that's kind of why I went on my rant about the defenses. Like, you can tell who knows their shit by how they covered the preseason right now. Like, if they're actually doing research and telling you who's going to start time, Salvetri, like, he knows his shit. And he was like, he's telling you information. And so guys who give you information, they know what they're talking about. I don't think FSI knows what they're talking about, but that's just me. I think there's a lot of, I don't know. And I could be wrong. I mean, I could just fucking fall on my face today, but that's kind of where we're at there. I really haven't even moved the screen here. I've kind of just been looking at my stuff over here. So, even though I have these guys ranked as Bs, like, I'm personally not there. I do think you can consider Ankrum. I don't hate him. Like, I have a lot of the guys ranked B as getting value. And right now I got Tyler Ankrum at 4.8 value, which is, if you're at a 4.8 to 5 for me, you're a B. You're a guy who's going to be in the player pool. I got Ankrum for 40 points. I think Ankrum can finish 7th. I wouldn't go out of my way to play Ankrum, but if I was playing a lot of lineups, then I would start including people like Ankrum, people who I don't think people are going to play, like that. Sauter, Eckes again. And if everybody's going to pay up for Corey Heim, I'm already getting different there. Or not everybody, but if Corey Heim's like 25% owned, like, I'm perfectly fine with that, because that's 25% of the lineups that I'm building different from. So if he goes through, he goes through. Let's see. I pretty much talked about everything in this race that I wanted to talk about. I guess the only thing I would change here is excuse me. These are probably my priorities for today. That's where I would go. And then if you're not going there, if you're not playing those guys, then I would then go to here. Like I was debating between Creed and Menard. I think that's a real conversation to be had, and it all depends on what Creed can do. Because if Creed can get laps led and get fast laps, which I think he can do, I would lean that more towards him not leading laps. Then Creed's going to outscore Menard. If Creed gets up into like top 6, but he doesn't lead any laps, and Menard can get up to like 13th, 12th, even 11th, especially if this race gets crazy, then it leans more towards, the farther back. Like, I think that's the real discussion. It's Creed or Kligerman and Menard. It's all depends on what Creed does. And so if you're not playing Creed, I would focus on playing Menard or Kligerman, because that is his direct competitor in the salary range. I think that's really about it. I think we can move towards Xfinity. Yeah, I mean, Sal offers great information no matter what. I've never had his Patreon because normally I just I don't care enough for golf or basketball. I'll just listen to what he says there. But this year I'll get it because I did well just taking a lot of his information last year, and I would compare his stuff to like other sites, and just Sal's right more than he's wrong most of the time. And I like supporting people who put in the work. Pierce Dietrich, racefortheprize.com. Why is that in the description? Why did I have that on the screen for a long time? Because that's what I use. That's what I believe in. I don't do a lot of sponsorships. I actually turn most of them down just because I want to be able to talk shit about a platform or talk shit about people without, being paid in the back pocket or being quiet about it. And so I think Sal's the best football content guy out there. Just that's where I'm at. Not playing Mayer here. I think Mayer sucks on road courses. He's not used to this. I called that he'd wreck at Road America in the Xfinity Series. He did. I think he's going to learn from that, but I don't see him blowing through the field. I have him projected for B because I just have in my projections, I have Sam for, where we at, buddy boy? I got him for 53 points. That's a 5x value, but I don't think he gets there. That's giving him like 26 place differential points, somewhere around there. I don't see that happening. I would much rather project him for like, and that's in a soft field, because a lot of this, like, this road course is going to race much closer to a 1.5 mile in terms of lap traffic and in terms of the difference in speed between the bottom of the field and the top. And so Sam is basically in a GMS truck. He can get up there. His truck's better than at least 16 cars. But I don't see him getting really inside the top 20. And he's mainly using this for practice for the Xfinity Series. So personally, I'm not on Sam. I just have him ranked as B because that's what my projection had him at. What makes me so high on Eckes? I'm not giving him a ton of place differential. I just think Eckes can, if he runs 11th, I'm not going to be shocked. When you look at his finishes, sure, it's not the prettiest. The 35th at Coda, he had damage late in the race. When you look at where he was running where he should have, inside the top 20, knocking inside the top 10, depending on when the cautions came out. And he's $74. Like, I would give him anywhere from 5 to 3, even to 2 place differential points. And just because he's getting, 1 or 2 places more, he's outscoring, Timmy Hill. Because unless this race gets really crazy and Timmy Hill really shows up, which I think he can do well in this truck, I just think Eckes can score like 5, 4, even 6 more points than Timmy Hill, and for much, much lower ownership. Kind of the same discussion that I have with Sauter. Like, Sauter's been running well in races. He's just not finishing well. Road courses are always like that. We've seen it constantly this year, whether it's the Cup Series, whether it's the Xfinity Series, whether it's the Truck Series. For whatever reason, these professionals just forget how to drive in the last 10 laps of the race. And if a caution happens, and they just go freaking nuts and crazy. Daytona Road Course, both races there, they just kill each other entering turn 1. That's how it is. Cup Series, late race cautions, people start wrecking each other. Like, that's how it is. And so I like looking at running positions during long green flag runs versus finishing order here, because anything can happen. But with I said that, like, how many times this year have I been winning or close to doing well at these road courses and they have a fucking late race caution and everything just gets jumbled up? So that's kind of where I'm at. That's why I like Eckes a bit more. Not on Friesen. Let's see here. I have Friesen. I think I have him. What do I got him ranked here? I got him as a C. I'm giving Friesen. Give him 37.8 points. So that's where we're at there. I will say I don't like Austin Hill for DraftKings, but I love Austin Hill for Prize Picks. I put in a I like. There's a lot of missed prices on Prize Picks this week. Where are we at? Like Austin Hill, I don't know if the line changed, but I think Prize Picks had him at a 12th place finish yesterday or 11th, somewhere around there. Every road course this man has ran, it's been a top 10 finish, other than the Daytona Road Course earlier this year. So I don't like him for DFS, but I like him for Prize Picks. And now let me answer that. So what is that? It's Sauter Hill, Enfinger, Fogelman. I'll do Enfinger first. I think it's going to be Enfinger and Fogelman. Let me look. Let's see. Enfinger. Where you at, Fogelman? Where you at, buddy boy? And then Sauter Hill. It's Enfinger, Fogelman if I don't give Sauter as many place differential points. Like I'm really high on Sauter. If I dial him down to him getting 15th or something, it goes Fogelman and Enfinger. But I think the Sauter and Hill combo can outscore him. I think it I think it's pretty even on both of those, scoring very similar. Enfinger worries me. I was playing Enfinger, but I would much rather play Creed, honestly. Like, so that's another situation, and this will be the last thing before I move to the Xfinity series. But if Creed fails, then it's a battle between Enfinger, Menard, and Kligerman. Once it goes there, I think it would go Menard, Kligerman, Enfinger. But yeah, I think that's how it is. I wish, God damn it, I wish somebody would have given Enfinger a damn car at the Daytona Road Course. I don't understand why he couldn't get a ride, and I don't understand why DraftKings didn't, or why NASCAR didn't waive him for the playoffs, because the man literally tried to get a ride, and nobody had a ride opening, and NASCAR's like, nah, you don't get a waiver. You did not attempt to start every race. And I was like, well, yeah, he couldn't. NASCAR, come on. I would play Enfinger if he was in a Thor Sport truck. In the Cody Roebal car, I think he can get up to like, what I got him projected for right now. I'm giving him a 13th, and that's like his ceiling. But if I give him a 13th, and if I give Kligerman like a 13th to 14th, if I give Paul Menard like a top 10, then it defaults to Kligerman and Menard over Enfinger. So there, that's my last thing there. Let me look. Okay, so I think we're going to move to the Xfinity series now. And this is the one that I like to build a lot of lineups with, because there's a lot of ways you can build for the Xfinity series today. Let me see. So you can either, and it's kind of the same thing with Creed versus John Henry Nemechek, Rhodes, and Gillen in the Truck Series. It depends how many points you think Ty Gibbs is going to score, because there is a realm to where Cindric leads a little bit, loses the lead, either pitting before the stage or something happens, and he can't get back to the lead. A. Allmendinger is going to have to practice from the Truck Series, but same thing. Like, if something happens on pit road, which we've seen, how many times has colleague tried to piss away a road course race that they have a locked on pit road? The only reason A. Allmendinger won his last road course race, not his last one, his the one at Mid-Ohio, was because I fully believe it was team orders to Jeb Burton to bring out a yellow, because A. Allmendinger had the best car. They threw it away on pit road, and they needed a yellow to get the win. So if something like that happens again in this race, and they don't get that last yellow, well, then it kind of locks AJ out of leading laps. And so I don't know how likely that situation is, but if that's the case, then I think that helps out people like Ty Gibbs, possibly, not only on place differential, but Ty Gibbs finished second. If we're going to all of a sudden care about Corey Haim so much, well, Ty Gibbs finished second. Like, that's why I don't care about the ARCA series. Ty Gibbs, he's already proven how good he is, not just on the road courses, but in general. And so if Ty Gibbs can get up there, and then he starts leading laps, which I think they're going to try and put him in a position to where he can leapfrog up there, I think he can lead laps. We've also seen Ty Gibbs get speeding penalties on road courses when he's running fourth, when he's running fifth, and he gets dropped all the way back, and he gets locked out of leading laps. But at least he has the guaranteed place differential points. And so that needs to be your first discussion. Who do you think scores the most between Cindric, A.J. Allmendinger, and Ty Gibbs? Currently, I would lean A.J. Allmendinger, Ty Gibbs, and then Austin Cindric. But I got lineups using all three of them. That's where we're at today. So once you go with Ty Gibbs, or one of those three guys, who else do you use? I kind of already said in my video that I like people like Clements. I like people like Sieg. I love Brandon Brown. I like these guys. I'm very heavy on the 6K range today in Xfinity Series, and I've just mixed and matched the guys based on how much salary I had left. I firmly believe that it's Chris Wright and Josh Williams at the very bottom. Kind of that same discussion I just had when I listed the projections for the bottom half of salaries, or at least the 6, 7 below in the Truck Series. Like it's Josh Williams and Chris Wright, and there's no other places to go after that. If both those guys fail, then I'm dead from the start. But I am just using Williams and Chris Wright, either one or the other. I even have lineups with both of them. So that's where I'm at. I think it's those top three guys. So Cindric, AJ, Ty Gibbs, and then Josh Williams and Chris Wright at the very bottom. Those would be the main guys that I would not lock into every single lineup, but those would be the guys I would just lock in those categories and then build differently from the middle. That's what I would do. Let's see here. Rank these four in cash: LeBay, Clements, Brown, and Moffitt. I would go Brandon Brown, Clements, Moffitt, and LeBay. We need to talk about Pardis here. I think I've played Pardis on every single road course race he's ever raced in. Every single one. And the man just shows that he cannot be trusted in these races. I don't know if it's because he comes from road course racing to where people actually race with respect, but he gets eaten up late in races. And I'm not using that as an excuse. Like, Preston Pardis is a good driver. We see him get up into the front or into the top 15 at these road course races. But late in the race, you just see the Xfinity guys, they don't have any respect. They don't have any respect. They run each other off the road. They beat and bang. I think that hurts Pardis, because Pardis comes from road course racing to where you don't just dump people. You don't just move them out of the way. And all these, inbred NASCAR drivers just wreck each other. And Pardis, it's late, and it's not just Pardis too. Like, we had, I think Cindric got turned late at Mid-Ohio this year. But man, Pardis, God, dude, as a guy who you should expect to be like a top 15 driver, it's let me see. I think it's a 17th place finish. Let me look. So when we look at his road courses, hardest that is. Starting 35th today. This is going all the way back to 2019. So at Road America, showed up with his own car that his dad built. And then him and his dad built, finished 36th. We then had him finish 27th at the Roval in 2019, a race that, yet again, he was running up in the front, just got spun out late in the race. And then we get to 2020, and so we have Road America. He finishes 8th there, which is where he should finish. And then we have the Roval in 2020, yet again, got involved in stuff late in the race, finished 32nd. When we go to the Indy GP, he finished 10th. When we go to the Daytona Road Course last year, he finished 31st, yet again, ran into issues. Road America this year, 16th. Mid-Ohio this year, 25th. Tale of two different stories. One, he didn't get moved out of the way, Road America. One, he did get moved out of the way late, Mid-Ohio. Daytona Road Course this year, 33rd. Moved out of the way late in the race, got caught up in stuff. And so he puts himself in positions to where it's a 50-50 chance if he gets involved in a wreck, because he's racing, 16th to 13th pretty much late in most of these races. That's where a lot of stupid stuff happens. And so, and I don't know if that's me being more hesitant just because I keep getting burned by Pardus every time, and I'm telling myself, hey, I need to bump back my Pardus exposure. So I have Pardus in lineups, but I am really, really concerned. I think it's very similar to the Kyle Weatherman situation we have each and every week, to where, is that car going to run into issues? Is he going to run into issues? Is Pardus going to get through this race without having an issue? And I think it's up in the air on that. And so I think Pardus is going to be extremely chalky today. If he performs like he should, he'll be optimal. But I think he has a really high chance of finishing 27th, 25th, back in the 30s if something late happens in this race. And I think that's a good place to get different. Eric Jones, I got so many tabs open now. I got Eric Jones for 55.6 points today. I would much rather go Austin Dillon. That's where I'm at. If you're playing cash today in any of them, just focus on place differential, because there's a good chance both races can get dumb. Which is why I don't like playing cash. I would honestly just point you towards playing GPPs, man. Unless you're playing high dollar cash, like anything over 25 in cash, then I think it's worth your time. Don't even waste your time playing like $3, $5, $10 cash. I don't play any cash, but that's just me. I'm just a GPP player. I think cash has really, really been diminished in value over the last couple of years since we have better information out there. We have more people playing. I think that hurts cash players a lot. Let's see. What else do you guys want to talk about for this? And I think that's why I have so many lineups here, because, if you build around these two guys, you're going to have much different lineups than if you just use one of them in Ty Gibbs, or if you just fade one of them, or if you fade both, build around Ty Gibbs and then other guys. That's why I like Xfinity for a lot of different things. Xfinity seems like a race where it'd be good to enter a GPP, and you have lineups that are finishing dead last, and you have lineups finishing high in GPPs. I would be hesitant, I normally play lineups and GPPs built around same cores, which is why if I was going to build them for the Truck Series, they'd pretty much all be built around the same. So if one does well, pretty much they're all going to do well, or if one does bad, they're pretty much all going to do bad. Whereas Xfinity, I think it leads to drastically different builds, and so that's how I would not use the same core for Xfinity, just because there's so much variation of who can work, who's not going to work, and things like that. And so, Chris, it goes back to like Dylan, like he's not the best road course racer, but who is he racing against? Like Myatt Snyder, the road course expert from Europe, like Who does he have a better car than? Who is he comparable? I think he's comparable in finishing position to Clements, to Sieg, to Brown. He's better than Buford. I don't care that Buford's a road course ringer. I believe Dillon is going to finish better than Buford. He's going to finish better than Tommy Joe Martins. He's going to finish better than Josh Williams. He's going to beat Castle on car alone. He's going to beat Weatherman on car alone. He's going to beat Graff. He's going to beat LeBay. He's going to beat Little. He's going to beat Earnhardt. He's going to beat Mills. He's going to beat Balighi. He's going to beat Howard. He's going to beat Timmy Hill. Sam Mayer, as I said before, I think he struggles. I think he's going to finish better than Sam Mayer. He's going to finish better than these guys behind him. And so it's not always like, oh, his experience on road courses aren't the best. It's like, well, we need to look at the field. Like, yet again, going back to ARCA, Corey Heim winning a race. Did you guys even look at the finishing order, the finishing grid for the ARCA series last night? Let me bring this up to you in case you didn't watch the race, which I only watched the last half because I'm not fucking sitting through some bullshit ARCA race at a fucking road course. But when we look at the ARCA series, and I'll bring this up on the screen here, let's take a gander at how spread out this ARCA race really was, because I just can't believe how much is being talked about here. Oh my god, it doesn't. Oh man, I need to find a Bob Parker's treatment, because this is the finishing order for ARCA, and you're like, what are you talking about? There's 22 guys on the lead lap. Let me find the delta between these guys, the distance between these guys, because Watkins Glen is like a 2-mile racetrack. And where are we at, buddy boys? Come on. And there's so many wrecks. Oh my gosh. And Sam Mayer wrecked entering the dog leg. I mean, Sam, let's see. And then, Briscoe had a mechanical issue. Where the hell is the finishing order? Oh my god, no, but NASCAR sucks, dude. NASCAR results. Or, these fucking NASCAR reporters suck. God, dude, find me. Do I gotta go to TobyChristie.com? I really gotta do that? Just to answer this rant? Probably. Hold on. Alright. Let's go, TobyChristie.com. Let's roll. I know I got like 18 tabs open on Google Chrome, but it's not even Toby Christie. It's my CPU. I'm frying my CPU right now, trying to find some freaking. Okay, so look at this. So Heim is there. As I said, Ty Gibbs got caught up racing Hocevar and Hill late in the race, and Chris Wright, because Chris Wright spun out entering turn one with like 2 to go. He will hop. But look at these deltas. How is this an even field? What are we talking about here? And then why is this different? I wish it had deltas here instead of lap, or like a new tab here. But like, look at how bad this field is. Look at how many people had incidents. Like, that's very similar to the Xfinity Series race, to where, I know this says Hocevar finishing 4th, but Austin Dillon, isn't the best ringer, isn't the best road course driver, but look at his competitors. Look at who he's racing against. And I just realized I forgot Pierce is on. They put DraftKings' price check on TobyChristie.com. Where are we at? So that's where we're at. Let's see. Who I got winning the race? I would like, if I was betting on who would win the race, I'd probably be AJ. It's either AJ or Ty Gibbs. That's who I would. I normally don't talk about prize picks a whole lot outside of my stuff, which you can support me, BrandonCruzDFS on Patreon. Link is in the description below. PayPal's in the description below if you want to support me on either one of those. I know NFL season's back. I know you guys are probably prioritizing that stuff, but if you want to see my projections in its entirety, if you want to see some notes that I have, or if you want to see my favorite plays in general, you can go there. If you want to see the pool that I use when I'm putting drivers in the optimizer, it's there as well. And I don't normally talk about prize picks, but I think Brandon Jones is is not mispriced, but what is it? His over under is extremely low. I like the over for Brandon Jones today. Let's see. Any any other questions? Any other thing you guys want to talk about? I know you guys have been here for pretty much a whole hour now. 37 of you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. I do appreciate it. We're about, what are we from lock? We're about 55 minutes away from lock for the truck series, so I think that gives you enough time to mess with lineups or listen to other people if you want to check that out. If you want to read other stuff, I think that'll be good for you. Yeah, I can't think of anything. I'll be here for like 2 more minutes. If you guys any last questions, any last wonder, if you guys want a last minute rant, just type in that chat and let me know. But I think that's pretty much it. I think we covered about everything I wanted to here. Can't think of any much. I gotta make a few more Xfinity Series lines, but I probably need to reserve some more. What are these contests looking like? Yeah, let me see. So, God, dude, what the fuck is this $8 new content? 147 people. Actually, my payout isn't too bad. I was about to talk a ton of shit, but very rare we see 26.53% contest paid out on DraftKings anymore. $3 still isn't filled up. Probably will. 33 will fill up. One's about to fill up. People just don't care about Truck Series, man. We're about to see these contests shrink a ton, so that's where we're at. This might be the only time we ever see Chase Purdy's car. Yeah, man, like, that's a good card. Chase Purdy just keeps destroying it every week, man. Yeah, I think Dylan at 16 to, is that to win? I'm not a betting man. It's not legal here in Texas, so closest thing I got is Price Picks, and so I really don't look at a lot of odds unless I need to look at stuff for like I look on DraftKings Sportsbook for like tennis stuff. Or like UFC if I just want to see who the favorite is and who the underdog is, but other than that I don't look at many odds. Yeah, I would take Dylan at 16 to 1. I think that's worth a shot. I think he's probably closer to maybe 8 to 1. I think. I don't mind at all. And thank you, Chris, for telling people that. I hate telling people to like and subscribe. Like if you like the stuff, you're gonna like it. You're gonna subscribe to me anyway. I don't want to put a gun to your head, being like, the entrance to listen to this video is like the video. I don't care. Like just enjoy your. I just like having you here. That's all I care about. Do you think AJ sweeps today? There's a chance. There's a really awesome chance that AJ could sweep today. And I like AJ. Why do people not like, man, they gave a lot of crap to Jeremy Mayfield. I know he was doing meth and stuff, but, AJ did cocaine, and we never talk about AJ doing cocaine anymore. Can you imagine how much blow he's going to do after this race? Come on now, let's have some fun. Yeah, he may not sweep, but I think he can get top 5 in both races pretty easily. You're there at Watkins Glen? I'm so sorry. I don't know. I think it'd be cool to hit. I probably won't ever go to a road course race in any series just because you don't get to see a ton. I think it'd be more fun just to show up and then just drink beer under a tree all day. But for racing, you're just gonna be looking at that. You're gonna be looking at your phone, streaming it, or little fan view, little TV there. Doug, you're way back, man. I doubt you even get here, but yeah, Sal is extremely smart. He knows what he's doing. I like Sal a lot. Road America's awesome. I'm at the race chat. Yeah. Well, cool guys. I think we'll let you guys head out. Thank you for chilling with me for a bit. Hopefully you guys do well. Hopefully this kind of helps you out. If it does, consider. I'd much rather spam you about donating to PayPal than liking the stupid video. But yeah, guys, good luck today. Have fun, and we'll see you next time. Best of luck. We'll see you tomorrow. Jordan should be joining.